59.
Broadcasting live. Hey.
All right. We are live. We are live. Okay. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. This is week 3. We made it. We made it. Welcome to week 3 of Watch Party on the Hit List Network, brought to you by Facebook. And I'm your host, one of Sydney. I'm going to toss it to my fellow host.
And I'm Lydia.
Okay.
I'm Lydia.
Hey, I'm Brian St. John, the one and only from Brooklyn.
Hey, y'all.
And we have a new addition to the team, Miss the Regulator, aka
Marina. I'm excited to be here tonight. I love y'all. This is like very exciting.
AKA Troublemaker.
Oh yeah. No. It's gonna get very spicy tonight.
Spicy. Listen, every time you hear the word spicy, write it down. You're not gonna get nothing for it, but just write it down.
That's right, Paprika. Go ahead, Paprika.
How's everybody doing? How we doing tonight?
Good. Doing all right.
Good.
It's Friday, and we're into all these shows. So this week we're doing a little something different. Normally we'll tackle a talk show, or a TV show, but now we're doing a comedy special. 2 of them in particular. So the first one we're going to talk about tonight is Yvonne Orji, Mama, I Made It, and then second followed by Dave Chapelle, 846.
846.
So, let's jump right into Yvonne Orji, the woman of the hour. Oh my God. This special, I must say, I think there's a handwritten rule that when you get your first special, you got to wear leather.
Yes.
I say, you're not legit. You're not legit until you wear leather. And it's like, okay, she came out in her leather outfit and the bob wig. I was like, okay. Here we go. I was like, okay, she got the jokes. One thing I love about comedians is that when they do accents or they do their parents, like, what's the Asian actress name? Margaret Cho. When Margaret Cho did her parents, like, I would die laughing. And so when Yvonne, she's from Nigeria, and she goes into her parents' accent, I'm just like, okay, here we go. It reminds me of my Caribbean background, and I'm like, okay, she's hilarious. What y'all think?
Yeah, I first of all, she looks sexy as hell. The boots, the whole outfit was just sexy. She just exuded sexy to me. But she was hilarious. I thought she was funny. I thought for her first special, I think she did an excellent job. I loved the interaction with her parents when she was back home. It was so nice to see her back home and shopping and actually even talking to people in the street and asking the famous question of, do you know who Yvonne is? And they're like, I think she's skinny. And they didn't even know they're talking to her. So that was also kind of funny and also a little interesting because you think that you see people on TV. Well, we see people on TV being here in the United States, and we get all excited when we see people in the streets. And here she is, this big star on HBO, and she's back home, and people are like, she looks like this, but they don't even know they're actually talking to her. So that was an interesting take, but I loved it. I thought she did a great job.
So just to set everybody up in case you haven't seen it, if you've been caught up with everything that's going on, Yvonne Orji, she took her special back to her home city, her adopted home city of Washington, D.C., and filmed it at the famed Howard Theater down in D.C. And then spliced in between the comedy sets, she went back to Nigeria and visited her parents and the community. So they spliced it together with hometown and Africa. And so it was a great mixture, and we were able to see her culture fuse with her comedy. So when she was talking about something, then we got to visualize the actual thing that she was talking about.
Yep. Yeah. I was, again, just looking forward to it because I wanted to see Yvonne Orji, the comedian. You know, it's like we know her as Molly on Insecure, but I really want
Molly.
Thank you, Sid.
Okay, that's what I'm here for.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I liked it.
That's how you feel.
Right. Lorena, what you think?
I mean, from what I saw, it was funny. I thought she.
Okay, we got somebody in the house that didn't do her homework, so she's gonna talk about the first 10 minutes, and then she's gonna just be silent.
Listen, but first of all, she looked hot as hell. Like she looked so.
High boots. Oof.
She looked like phenomenal when she came out. I was like, yes, bring it, Nigeria, bring it on, sister. Okay, she looked phenomenal, and you know, I thought it was funny. I mean, I don't really know a lot about her, and just watching her special.
Oh, you have got to please, you got to do your homework.
Lorena doesn't watch Insecure, everybody.
No, I don't watch Insecure.
Shame on her.
I said what I said. I don't watch it. But I wonder if she is the first Nigerian American woman to have an HBO special.
I want to say
that's a good question.
I want to say so.
Yeah.
There's not too many females that had, like, after you got Wanda Sykes, and then Haddish just had her special.
Yeah.
But I think that was it. At least 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And so for her, like, she isn't a household name.
Right.
She's not a household name. And she's I would say the secondary character.
I would say
co-star in Insecure.
I would say that to me, Sydney, is what made it so special, is the fact that she's not a household name,
right?
And is a secondary character in Insecure. So for HBO to take a chance on her and give her a special the way that they did, that was big. That was huge.
And which is why I was looking forward to it. You know what I mean? I was, because I was looking forward to seeing her as a comedian. And she was phenomenal. I loved it. I mean, she was perfection from the beginning. Her outfit, her hair, she had them thigh-high leather boots on, all of that. She was, she was funny. And I love that she brought in, you know, back home, like, you know, where that part I love too.
Oh my God. And she opened up with haggling. And we all, most of us are Caribbean background, and we know about haggling. We know about haggling. Like, you can't just go into a store and pay, you know, the regular prices. It's just like, okay, what is this? How much do you want for that bag? Like,
when you go back home to the islands and all of that, you definitely got to haggle, because it's expensive. This is like, she's right. It's like $10,000 for some peanuts.
Lorena, is that part of the first 10 minutes? Is that part?
Put your sunglasses back on.
Lorena can appreciate the haggling, though. That's for sure, because she's a haggler.
What? I'm like, oh wait, what? Oh my God! I am a haggler, not haggard. A haggler.
You're the regulator.
I can appreciate the haggling. I can definitely appreciate the haggling, and I can appreciate the fact that, you know, she talked about her family not initially being supportive of her being in entertainment, but then her mother, when she understood. Do you have the H to the B-O?
You know what's so funny? So many celebrities have that story where their parents were not supportive of them in their career. Because when you look at it, entertainment is like, they're like, that's not a real job. Half the time you're struggling, you're living out of a car, you know, you're not making any money. You're a waiter. You might get a job here. You may get a job there. You may become discovered. Like, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be something that's going to give you money.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Celebrity? That's it. Me.
That's
Caribbean.
Caribbean, African.
No, it never happened to me. That happened to you.
Oh, wow.
Before my father retired from the railroad, he was just like, "How long you plan to do this music thing? Because I can get you on the railroad." That thing, I was like,
"Get you a good job, Sydney."
I was like, he was like, Mom, I think I'm good. I think, you know, I think I got something here. He was like, okay, let me know. Because I'm about to retire.
My mom was the same way. When I told her I wanted to work in the industry, music industry, she just had the blank stare, like, that's what you gonna do with the degree? That's what you gonna do? And it was like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And they will ignore it and push it aside until they see you climbing up and making strides. Then, like, her mom was like, "Oh, do you have HBO? The whole office." It was like, that's how it is. That's how they do. You know what I mean? So that part was it was so funny. You know, it brought it home. It made, you know, reminded you of like how your parents can be.
Yeah, I never had that. That issue. They never questioned me being in entertainment or going into entertainment or anything like that.
They understood what you did. My folks didn't even understand. They was just like, we don't know.
My folks didn't
I think they were just happy for me to just do what I wanted to do. Now my sister questions it. Like, you know, sometimes they see me on Instagram and my sister she's like, oh, I like your job. You get paid to do nothing but just hanging out. I was like, oh, is that what you do? Just hang out? That's not what we do all day. Yeah.
No, I remember when I first started working in the music business, literally my mom or my grandmother thought I was selling like CDs on the street, like at the record store. And I was like, I don't sell the CDs. I work for the place that makes them. I'm like, that's what we do. We start from the back. I mean, it was hard to explain like what it was that I did. It seemed like this thing that was just kind of off somewhere, you know, off center, and it was just hard to make it real.
So okay, so going back to the show, what about when the parents were talking about? Did you hear about NECA? I heard that NECA got engaged. Yeah, I'm happy for her. You're happy for her? When will I be able to be happy for you?
That is not only not only an African thing. That is a West Indian cultural thing as well. That is
also a black thing.
Period.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like, before I die.
Yeah. That's on both sides. That's on the male side and the female side of that culture.
Yeah.
They push it on both. On the male side, they really push for children, and they're just like, "Oh, you don't have any kids yet? This and the third. When are you gonna get some kid? When are you gonna give me a niece or a nephew or a son or this and that?" It's like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Yes, and then when her mom was like, what about Billy? Where's Billy?
Billy. How about it's like, what kind of grades does Billy get?
Yeah.
What kind of grades does Billy? When you go back to school, ask him. Ask him.
Yo,
she said her mother was gonna leave her with the kidnapper.
Oh my God. Comedy.
It's like you have found your new home.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Chrissy, yes, she does. Yeah, seems like she had the best comedy special. That's what Chrissy was saying. That she delivered. That she really delivered.
We we've been starving for a good comedy, stand-up
Yeah.
comedy for a minute now.
Yeah.
Because we're used to the Dave Chapelles and Kevin Hart's. But we haven't had a female comedian stand up in a minute since.
I think we were underwhelmed with Tiffany Haddish's. I thought that she was really gonna do it, but it was just like,
it was like,
yeah.
She
So
doesn't do anything for me. Y'all know that.
I think that Tiffany with stand up, I think I like her in movies. The stand up comedy, I'm kind of like,
Me not in movies either. She's not funny.
No. Well, you don't watch The Last OG.
oh
She's
my,
very good. She's good in that.
She was good in Night School with Kevin Hart.
I'm just gonna sit back and drink my water while y'all discuss this.
You have no wine. It's Friday. You no like.
he got water.
No,
My water is my wine.
Gotcha.
You got one?
No, I drink God's juice.
There you go.
But he's pushing alcohol on me.
Nobody gave me that.
He's trying to screw my liver up, but he's drinking water.
It's hydrated out there.
Yeah, man.
Oh God, this is like
but she.
Oh my God, what about auto pay?
Oh,
what about auto pay? You know you've made it when you could check your bills for auto pay.
Oh yeah. She's absolutely right.
Okay, I got anything in there? How much I got in there?
Exactly.
It's like,
like Christy said, she delivered.
Let it go, baby.
Yeah. She delivered because everything she joked about, like you could really relate to. It didn't matter who you were, you could relate to it. That was the beauty of it.
And I think with her, we can relate to her.
Yes.
I feel like she's part of the crew that like we can hang out with her and she'll fit right in without any kind of hiccups. And so she makes you feel real comfortable. And it's like, oh, that's Yvonne. Yo, what up, Yvonne? What we doing?
Right. Yeah.
Made it special.
Yeah, it was great. It was definitely.
And I didn't expect it. I didn't have any expectation. I was like, oh, okay, let me just watch it. They've been.
I'm with you. I didn't really have any big high expectations either. I was excited to see it because the production of it looked good from the trailers. Just knowing her from Insecure and loving and hating her character from Insecure was my drive for really watching her comedy special. And I thought she did a great job. So.
And it looks like HBO spared no expense, like a camera crew.
HBO takes care of the people, though.
Yeah, that ain't. I was like, okay.
When they did on location.
Chrissy says she easily goes back and forth between the two cultures, and that's so true. 1 minute she is in Nigeria, and the next minute she's back in like Maryland, like back in America. That is so true. Just real seamless. I loved it. She was. Now you get to see. Now she's like, yes, I'm a comedian. Yes, like she planted her flag. Yes, I'm a comedian. So if she has when she has another special, I'm definitely tuning in. Okay,
so I think we're unanimous that when the quarantine is lifted and she comes back to Caroline's, we're going.
Hey, yes, let me know that. I'm making the road for it.
Yeah, because she's been. I've seen her name there. She's been there a couple times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's been there a couple times.
Okay.
Wow. When the vaccine.
Yeah, when it's all lifted and we're all good.
What did you say? You said, when the vaccine comes. Okay, far away. Far like in 2021.
Oh my God.
Okay. So for Mama I Made It, what are we giving it? 1 out of 5.
I'll give it a 5.
5. 5.
When I saw it was a 5.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yvonne. There you go. Okay. So next up on the bill, we have the incredible Dave Chapelle with a what do I say? A groundbreaking, short, but really
emotionally heartfelt.
Heartfelt.
Yeah.
27-minute special entitled 46.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it came out of nowhere. It just popped up. It landed on, what was it? What was it, on YouTube? Where was it?
Yeah.
YouTube.
You know, it was very confusing because a lot of people kept saying that it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking on Netflix, and I'm like, all the old comedies.
It's on Netflix's YouTube channel. Hey, Adolfo.
The way it was being told, nobody was explaining it that way. Everyone just kept saying Netflix because he has the deal with Netflix.
Right.
So I think the first, 10, 12 minutes going through Netflix and cursing Netflix out because I kept putting in his name, and then all these other specials would pop up or shows would pop up with his name in it, and not this one. And it's a little frustrating. And then I had to call Tamara and be like, Tamara, where the hell am I watching this thing at? And then she told me YouTube. So
like I just said in the box, historic first ever post-COVID special.
First of all, the way he did it was brilliant. Outside, social distance, he covered all the bases, covered social distancing, covered people having masks on. But it was, to me, what the brilliance of it was, it really wasn't a comedy special. It was a delivery of his feelings and emotions about what's happening now, currently.
It was totally captivating.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it was more so a conversation he was having with us, and just talking to us the way he would normally talk as a comedian, and just to give us a few laughs here and there, but be honest how he's really feeling about everything, about Don Lemon, about Candace Owens, about what's her face from Fox News, Laura Ingraham, like just running down the line of all these people and the reactions to George Floyd and just everything that's happening now. It was just it was brilliant.
I think for me, the brilliance started from just the opening scene. You know, you see chairs with red around them to signify the social distancing. You see people coming in, and then you see masks, and then you hear some music. At first I didn't really know where we were going. I'm like, is this live? Like, did they really see him? And it was just phenomenal how each moment built on the next moment. And, as Adolfo said, it was the first event post-COVID. I mean, it's one of the first social distancing concerts since everyone's been, quarantined. And I just really, it was less a comedy special and more like an indictment on America.
Yeah. That's
the
beauty of Dave Chapelle for me, because I would say I watched the interview. I think it might have been a Breakfast Club with Kevin Hart, and he was praising and giving David his flowers. And I totally agree that David may be the best comedian out right now.
Yeah,
because he has put himself in a prime position where he can comment and say the things that we're all feeling, and he's not getting the backlash for being politically incorrect.
A lot
of people are afraid to say what is really going on, or is it too soon to make that joke?
Right.
And he's himself where it's Dave Chapelle, and how articulate he is and direct he is. He can say anything.
He's like Howard Stern, where he doesn't give a fuck. So he's
right.
Say anyway,
right.
You're not. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I felt
social commentary, right, Clint?
Yeah, I felt like Lorena, like you didn't know what to expect. And I was like, oh wait, he's doing a comedy special? Oh, all right. Let me pull up my seat. But as I saw, like waiting for the joke.
Yeah.
But when he was doing commentary and talking about, I was blown away. Yeah. Absolutely blown away. The man is brilliant. First of all, the concept of it is brilliant. He did it in 27 plus minutes.
Well, see, he did it in 27 minutes for us. But do you do you think the audience was only there for 27 minutes, or did he?
I mean, remember a lot of people there was his family. So
yeah, right.
I didn't know
maybe the setting up part took a lot longer. You know, setting up and stuff like that. But I still love that. I love that. It was like, and then you wanted more. You wanted more, but he did it. But he just cut it off. Like it was brilliant. It was
I think he just had something on his chest that he just wanted to get off, and he didn't want to do it through an interview. He wanted to do it his way. I think he sat back and was seeing a lot of things that were going on, and I think one of the things that probably sparked him was Don Lemon. Don Lemon did go. You know, I like Don Lemon, but when Don Lemon went on TV and he kept rattling off all these celebrities' names and what are you doing and this and that, all that stuff, I always take issue with that because it's not always about people in front of the scenes standing up, doing championing and doing something. A lot of times people are doing stuff behind the scenes that you don't see because they don't want the celebrity to take over the work that they're doing. And a lot of times when they're in front of the scenes and they're giving the money and they're doing all these type of things, the celebrity kind of shines more than the work that they're doing. So a lot of times
like he was saying, he was like, this is not about me or my time. This is the streets. This is for people to, you know, this is a time where people, retail workers, grocery workers, delivery people, those were the people that have been lifted up in this whole coronavirus COVID situation. They're the important ones. So I really felt like he got it. Like, no, this ain't for me to come out and take pictures of me helping. No, I need to take a step back and let the streets come out and voice their opinion. I was like, oh my gosh, he gets it. He totally gets it. It was brilliant. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was.
And Chrissy, not to cut you off, Chrissy, I think he did it in California, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was in Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Okay.
He lives, it was near where he lives. Because remember, he lives out in out in the Midwest. You know, one thing I will say, and I was just, you know, before we all got on, I had watched it again. And what reverberated through my body was when Dave Chapelle
reverberated. Okay, let me write that down.
Look it up.
Reverberated. Okay, go ahead.
When Dave Chapelle said he kneeled for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, I felt every piece of that statement. I mean, literally when Dave Chapelle said it, I felt what he was feeling at that moment. And there was such anger that Dave Chapelle felt in saying those words. You know, George knew he was going to die. He called out for his mother.
Right.
And, you know, how did the police officer do this, not thinking that he would feel the wrath of God?
Right.
That was powerful. That was powerful.
Powerful. I had to pause that moment and just sit with it.
Yeah, it was powerful. Absolutely powerful. Like,
but it's like you can't. I don't think you can't just go straight into a comedy session. It's like you have to acknowledge what is happening.
Right.
And so now he can come back next week or next Friday with another comedy special and just go straight into the jokes now. You know, because he acknowledged what's happening and he put his stamp on it. He put his words out there. And so now we can move on. So this is like a lesson to any other comic that's out there. It's just like, yo, you have to acknowledge it. You guys are, it's like the hip hop artists, they're the air to the streets. They give us what's currently going on. So the comedian gave us his take. So it's like, okay, Okay, I see you.
Yeah.
I get you, Dave.
Yeah.
You are king. You are the comic king right now.
Yeah,
you're the comic king.
Laura Ingraham.
I loved it.
Because I can't stand Laura Ingraham, so I loved what he called Laura.
Laura Ingraham?
Or wasn't her name Lindsay?
Whatever.
She's from Little House on the
Prairie. No, whatever her name is from.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What are we talking about?
You're talking about the lady on Fox News, Sydney, the one who told LeBron to just stick to basketball.
Oh, okay. Come on, y'all in the box. It
ain't Owens, Tanya. It's not Candace Owens, Tanya.
Not Candace. It's the white. We're talking about the white lady. Come on, you got to be quicker. We need you. This is the participant. You're our co-host.
You know, but part of it was what he said. He was like, this lady who's great at nothing.
Right.
Is telling this
Laura
man.
Ingraham. Don't question me. It's Laura Ingraham.
Okay, there you go, Brian.
I need confirmation in the box, y'all.
Why don't you just Google it like you have a phone?
I can't. I'm hosting a show. I have too much to do. I got the lighting. I got everything going on.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, there it is. Her name is Laura Ingraham. There it is.
Okay.
Oh my God. Brian knew the name. But she's the one that told LeBron to stick to basketball. And basically, you know, Dave Chapelle said it. He was like, this lady who's great at nothing is telling the one of the greatest basketball players of all time to stick to basketball.
Right.
Like she needs to have like several. He said just a white woman with a platform.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I wanted to add a new piece to this segment where we do audience Q&A. So if anybody in the box has a question that they want to answer, just type it in there and then we'll answer it.
What's going on here?
That's it. I freestyle. I freestyle that.
While they're typing a message into the box, let's talk about Candace Owens.
What?
Okay. Now we're switching. We're switching topics, people.
She knows. No, we're not. Dave Chapelle talked about it. Did you do your homework?
Yeah, he talked about it.
Did you do your homework?
No. I know, but we're going to go on a Candace Owens rant. So that's what I'm saying. We're switching.
I'm just saying he brought her up in his special, and he called her most articulate idiot. And you know, she talked about George like we made him a martyr, and he was like, we didn't choose him. They did when they murdered him.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what the media tends to do. It's like they try and dig up and find out all what's happening in people's past, but it's like that's irrelevant to the situation. His past put him in the situation on the ground, so that's irrelevant. You know what?
That's even worse for her because she should like you don't do that. Like, come on, you know how they do that to us all the time.
He did it for money.
That's just disgusting to me.
She's doing it for money. She's doing it because she is trying to fill a gap. You know, she wants to be that one black voice that doesn't agree with progressive Black people, and that's how she's making her money. Clint said.
We got Clint story said, "Is Dave Chapelle this generation's Richard Pryor?"
That's a good question. I mean,
you know, Richard Pryor is the GOAT.
He is.
So that's really big. I mean, Dave Chapelle. It's so hard because Richard Pryor was my generation. He was my first comedic icon, and so he's right up there. But Dave Chapelle, it's like he's a storyteller. Richard was a storyteller, and very visual. Like you can see his comedy.
I think Dave Chapelle is.
He's close.
I would say he's close. Dave Chapelle. I actually saw Dave Chapelle in DC when he last came through. I want to say I don't know if it was last year or the year before last. It's definitely been within the past 2 years.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What?
No, I said, look at you getting out and about, going to these events and shows.
That's what I do out here in the city, out here in DC streets. But he, I got to see him at the Warner Theater, and it was phenomenal. And I can say, I mean, he does definitely mirror Richard Pryor in so many ways. And I think he is our generation's Richard Pryor. He's not replacing him, but I think he is our generation's Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to go see him during the Chapelle show. And so I feel like, oh my God, that was a moment of time.
Yeah. I agree with you, Lorena. I think he comes close. He comes close to Richard Pryor with regards to talking about things that are going on, currently. You know what I mean? And he's a provocateur. So it's like he gets you thinking. He gets you thinking about things that are happening. You know what I mean? And Richard Pryor, with his comedic jokes and stuff like that, he would get people thinking about also what was going on in the world at that time. So he's just seeing this. I was like, he's pretty close. He's pretty close to Richard Pryor. I did think that.
Let me ask y'all a question. So when Dave Chapelle
in the box.
Should be quiet. When Dave Chapelle made the correlation between the black men in the military, right, who were killing the cops, and them seeing that they were fighting acts of terrorism when they killed those police officers in 2 instances during the Black Lives Matter protests. What did you think of that? Because I thought that was deep. Because he said these men.
We see you, Adolfo. We see you, Adolfo.
These are people who spent their lives fighting, fighting for the flag and fighting against acts of terror, and they saw the police killings of our people as terrorists in America. And I
thought it was deep because I never really looked at it through that lens before. So I had to digest that a little bit because, like I said, I never really thought about it that way before. So, but I thought it was deep how he compared and contrasted the two, and just the whole imaging and thought process of it. I thought was
right.
Lydia, what did you think, Lydia?
No, it was it was definitely. I like when someone can make me think about stuff. Absolutely. I like when they can make me reflect. So when he started talking about the situations and what had happened, those 2 instances, first of all, I was like, oh wait, what? I had to like really think about it to remember the fact that he brought that to light to remind people, no, check this out. Don't forget. And this is what's happened before. And this is why it's still important. And here we are today. And this is why it's important to today. So I just love the fact that he did take it that deep, that he did take us there, because we needed to go. We need to go there. We need to go there. We need to talk about that. So again, I just was like amazed and just like in awe watching him talk about this stuff so passionately. It was just brilliant. It was brilliant.
Yeah, Clint says Dave's comments, brothers in the military, was very deep, amazing thought process. Agreed?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
We had some comments from Adolfo. He was screaming in the chat a minute ago. He said he had 17 comments, and I don't see a 1 right now. Okay, here we go. They don't talk nearly as much as about the officer's past issues and the amount of complaints he had.
Right.
Yes.
He said he had 17 complaints. Exactly. They never talk about that.
Yeah, 17 complaints, and the district attorney.
Sorry, Lorena, go ahead.
No, I was just saying he had 17 complaints and the district attorney refused to prosecute, which is why voting in your local elections matter. Go ahead, Brian.
Yes. And just to press pause on that for a second, This Tuesday we have another primary coming up for New York. I believe it's New York and another state. You can look it up, but I know we're in the
23rd.
23rd is New York.
23rd is New York.
Yeah.
Oh, but we have one coming up on Tuesday. I forget which city it was. I thought it was New York. But we'll put that in the chat, please, Chrissy. Just so everybody's registered and ready to put their vote in. So Tuesday we have another election coming up. I just wanted to make that.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, you were going to say.
No, I was just going to say that anytime it comes to us and they kill us, it's always where our past comes out, where we did drugs,
right?
You know, we did this. Mind you, with George Floyd, we still don't know whether that bill was fake or not. Not that it matters, but part of the story,
right?
We haven't even talked about that or touched that ever since that whole thing came out.
Right.
We don't know anything about that because they never talk about that. We don't know whether that bill was fake or not. But that's neither here nor there because that's not important. But it's just a matter of anytime something happens to us and they kill us, it's we were this, we were that, we were a thug.
Right.
We wore our pants too low or our hat to the back or it was a red bandana that we had on or something like that. And they always tie us to some sort of gang or drugs or something. And it's sickening. Like it really is. It's disgusting how they do that. And then when it comes to the police officers, a lot of times they have all these colorful pasts in terms of their files and never mention anything about that. Never.
What about when he made the reference to 8:46 that he was born at 8:46 a.m. or something? Oh,
yeah, he was born at 8:46.
That's what hit home for me.
Yeah,
that's what hit home for me. I was like, okay, 8:46 is now it was spiritual.
Yes, and then he brought up the point about his grandfather.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why that number is just so important to him.
Yeah. It was brilliant.
Yeah, and I thought the whole thing was just brilliant, and deep. Because it was a conversation. He was talking to us and he was expressing his views and his feelings only the way Dave Chapelle could.
Yeah.
Great.
And I definitely think, Brian, to your point about, them saying when a Black person is killed, they want to bring up this sordid past and this history. It's a part of a calculated effort to control the narrative under white supremacy, right? They want to ensure that, folks they look at Black people as less than. Obviously something was wrong. She had to have done this. Because it's an excuse as to why. But there's no excuse. It's not your job to kill people. Yeah. It's your job. Folks need to have their day in court.
Protect and serve.
Protect and serve.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's time and time again. Just like remember when Dylan Roof, the guy who murdered the folks in the church after he prayed with them, he murdered those folks. Oh, he had problems. It wasn't like this whole negative narrative.
They love to when it comes to them, they love to bring up mental illness. It's always mental illness when it comes to them. Us, we're thugs and we have colorful pasts. Always.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's always mental illness for them.
Yeah, Adolfo said he made it personal and told you the reasons why. Yes. Yeah. He did make it personal.
And he also talked about a local murder that we didn't hear about. And so we didn't know. And he said that it got overlooked because someone else got the attention. And so
what he said was that same police officer pulled him over
the day before. The day before.
Yeah.
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 Can you imagine being like Dave and knowing that you could have been that person?
Yeah.
Right.
That
Yep.
Wow.
Well, I just said that overall the special was brilliant. Dave is brilliant. Kudos to Dave Chapelle on another successful special. That's all. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
So for that, I'm going to give him 5.55.
Yes.
8.46.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah, for me, it was powerful and thought provoking. I'm gonna watch it again, and I concur. You know what you said, Sydney, the 5.55s.
I agree.
Yes, I agree.
Do I have to flash my hands too?
Yeah, flash. I want to see spirit fingers, Brian. Yay!
Jazz hands.
We want to see jazz hands.
Yeah, I'm not getting that.
Oh my gosh! Well, this was wonderful. This was wonderful.
Are we gonna touch on lightly this "I Destroy You" thing?
I don't. Not this go round.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we can touch on that the next go round. Let's get 2 episodes under our belt so we can really get a feeling for it. But this was wonderful, guys.
Yes.
Another successful show. Watch Party, Hitless Network. Yes. I want to thank you to Brian, to Lydia, and special guest.
You just had to say
Lorena, aka the regulator. and thank you. And thank you, our co-hosts in the box, Clint, Adolfo, Tanya, and everybody else. All right, y'all. Until the next one. Until the next one, y'all. Peace. Be safe.
Later.
Peace. Be safe.
Lorena, don't leave.